Javi Guerra enters the white orbit, a new star for Real Madrid? Greetings, loyal Madridistas. Welcome once again to El Madridista, your trusted corner of analysis, passion, and debate, where we break down every whisper, every rumor, and every potential move that places Real Madrid at the very center of world football. In today's edition, we dive deep into one of the most intriguing and exciting stories circulating around the footballing landscape: the possibility of Javi Guerra, Valencia CF's rising midfield sensation, one day donning the most prestigious shirt in the sport, the all-white of Real Madrid. This is not just another speculative rumor. It is a story that touches on identity, strategy, history, and the eternal pursuit of excellence that has defined Real Madrid for over a century. Who is Javi Guerra? The anatomy of a modern midfielder. At just 21 years old, Javi Guerra has become one of the brightest revelations in La Liga. A product of Valencia's academy, he embodies many of the traits that are increasingly rare in modern football: composure under pressure, tactical maturity, and the courage to take responsibility when the stakes are highest. But Guerra is not simply a talented youngster with promise. He already performs with the reliability of a seasoned professional. His physical presence allows him to cover vast swathes of the pitch, his positional intelligence ensures balance between defense and attack, and his ball circulation combines both speed and precision. Add to that his fearlessness, the kind that pushes him to demand the ball even in the most suffocating scenarios, and you begin to see why the biggest clubs in Europe are circling around his name. Why Real Madrid? Real Madrid has always been a club that thinks in layers of time: the urgency of today, the ambitions of tomorrow, and the safeguarding of its legacy for the decades to come. The potential signing of Javi Guerra fits perfectly into this philosophy. Yes, the midfield is currently stacked with world-class talent. Kroos, Modric, Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham form arguably the most versatile and complete engine room in world football. But football, like time, never stands still. Kroos and Modric, icons of an era, are in the twilight of their legendary careers. Even Valverde and Bellingham, despite their brilliance, cannot carry the midfield alone for the next 10 years. This is where Guerra becomes more than a rumor. He represents continuity and renewal in one single profile. Young, Spanish, already adapted to La Liga, and with a playing style that resonates with Real Madrid's demands: technical clarity, physical endurance, and competitive character. The historical lens: following the path of legends. When analyzing a potential Madrid signing, history is always a compass. Think back to Fernando Redondo in the 1990s. Elegant, commanding, capable of controlling games with intelligence and poise. Or to Xabi Alonso, the deep-lying orchestrator whose long passes split defenses like a surgeon's blade. Or most recently, Casemiro, the gladiator who combined raw defensive power with an ability to strike at decisive moments. Where does Javi Guerra fit in this lineage? He is not a direct clone of any of them. Instead, he blends fragments of each. Like Redondo, he has tactical maturity beyond his years. Like Xabi, he has range in distribution and vision. Like Casemiro, he has the grit to recover balls and protect the defense. In that sense, Guerra is a modern hybrid midfielder, less about being a specialist and more about offering the total package. The Valencia factor: a jewel guarded at Mestalla. Of course, this story cannot be told without acknowledging the perspective of Valencia CF. For Los Che, Javi Guerra is not just a promising talent. He is the symbol of hope for a fanbase that has endured instability, financial strain, and sporting decline in recent years. The Mestalla faithful see in Guerra a player who embodies their fighting spirit: tireless, brave, and committed. Selling him would not just be a sporting loss, but also an emotional wound. That is why Valencia's stance is firm. No loans, no creative swaps, no discounts. Only a serious financial offer would even begin the conversation. Reports suggest that Guerra's release clause could exceed €100 million, and while figures in football are always negotiable, it's clear that Valencia will not let him go cheaply. Strategic timing: now or later. Here lies the central dilemma for Real Madrid. Act now, secure a generational Spanish talent before Europe's other giants, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, PSG, make their move. The cost will be high, but Madrid will guarantee they are not outpaced in the market. Wait, allow Guerra more time to develop, monitor his consistency, and strike when circumstances are more favorable. The risk, of course, is that another club snatches him away. Real Madrid has been here before. Think of Sergio Ramos in 2005, signed from Sevilla at only 19 years old for what was then a record fee for a Spanish defender. Many doubted the price, but Ramos became one of the greatest captains in club history. Or consider Varane in 2011, a teenager spotted by Zinedine Zidane in Lens, who matured into a world-class defender. These examples show a truth about Madrid. When they identify a cornerstone for the future, they rarely hesitate. The emotional connection with the Bernabeu. Madridistas don't just fall in love with skill, they demand heart, courage, and sacrifice. That is why the Santiago Bernabeu applauded Raúl's endless runs, Ramos' last-minute headers, and Casemiro's uncompromising tackles. Javi Guerra fits that archetype. He is not a luxury player who waits for the game to come to him. He hunts the game, imposes himself, and drags his team forward when needed. This is the kind of character that resonates with the Bernabeu, a player who bleeds intensity and never hides. Tactical versatility for the future. From a tactical standpoint, Guerra would give Ancelotti and future Madrid managers enormous flexibility. He can operate as a defensive midfielder, shielding the backline, winning duels, and intercepting transitions. But he can also push higher, acting as an interior, driving forward with the ball and arriving late in the box. In a team that increasingly values positional rotations and fluid structures, his ability to adapt would be priceless. Imagine him alongside Camavinga, forming a dynamic double pivot. Or paired with Bellingham, creating a box-to-box partnership full of energy and verticality. Or even rotating with Tchouaméni to maintain balance in a packed calendar. Guerra doesn't just add depth, he adds new dimensions. Beyond football, identity and national core. One must also consider Real Madrid's broader identity. In recent years, much of the squad has been built on international talent. Brazilians like Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Militao, or French stars like Benzema, Mendy, and Tchouaméni. While this global strategy has brought immense success, Madrid has always cherished having a Spanish core to connect with its fanbase. Think of Iker Casillas, Sergio Ramos, Raúl, Arbeloa, Carvajal, Nacho, players who, beyond their talent, carry the emotional DNA of the club. Javi Guerra, young, Spanish, and competitive to the bone, could be the next in that line. Conclusion: the White Orbit tightens. So we return to the essential question: should Real Madrid make a bold move for Javi Guerra now, or should they wait? The answer depends on perspective. From a financial standpoint, it is a gamble. From a sporting perspective, it is an opportunity. From a historical standpoint, it feels almost inevitable. Because when Real Madrid identifies a player who embodies talent, youth, and competitive fire, the orbit begins to tighten, and history tells us that the white gravity is hard to resist. Javi Guerra is already in that orbit. The only question left is not if, but when, he will land at the Santiago Bernabeu. The debate over Luis Suarez. The second major headline in today's football news revolves around a name that has suddenly resurfaced at the very forefront of the international transfer market: Luis Javier Suarez, the 27-year-old Colombian striker who has emerged as one of the standout performers in the latest World Cup qualifiers. His recent display against Venezuela, where he scored 4 goals in a single match, has not only captured global attention but has also reignited speculation about a potential move to one of Europe's most prestigious clubs, the Real Madrid. Suarez's impressive form for the national team has immediately placed him back on the radar of European giants. Sports newspapers across the continent have speculated about his potential transfer, with Real Madrid reportedly monitoring developments closely. The prospect of signing a striker with such physical presence, goal-scoring instincts, and international experience has naturally sparked a heated debate among football pundits, journalists, and supporters alike. A closer look at Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez is far from an unknown figure in European football. He first made waves in La Liga during his tenure at UD Almeria, where his pace, agility, and goal-scoring acumen caught the attention of clubs and fans alike. Over the following years, he had stints in Granada, and later in France, before finding relative stability at Sporting CP in Portugal. Technically, Suarez is a versatile striker. He can operate as a central forward, a lone striker, or as part of a dual forward system. He is not a static presence. He frequently drops into wide areas, stretches defenses with his runs, and attacks spaces behind defensive lines. His physicality allows him to battle for aerial duels, hold up the ball under pressure, and maintain offensive momentum. Off the ball, His relentless work rate ensures he is constantly pressing defenders and contributing to the team's transitional play. However, despite these strengths, Suarez's career has been far from linear. He has alternated periods of brilliance with stretches of inconsistency, leaving lingering questions about his ability to maintain peak performance over an entire season. Consistency is a vital criterion for any Real Madrid signing, particularly for forwards, where the margin for error is exceptionally slim. Does he fit in at Real Madrid? The central question remains: does Luis Suarez fit the philosophy and requirements of Real Madrid's current squad? Real Madrid's transfer strategy has historically prioritized not only talent but also proven ability to perform in the most high-pressure environments. The club has long sought players who are capable of defining matches in crucial moments, demonstrating resilience, mental toughness, and an innate sense of timing in attacking situations. By these standards, Suarez remains something of an unknown. His breakthrough at the international level has arrived relatively late, at the age of 27, while Real Madrid has tended to favor younger prospects or players who have already demonstrated consistent brilliance on the world stage. Recent high-profile signings illustrate this pattern. Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Vinicius Jr., and Jude Bellingham were all brought in with the expectation of immediate impact, either as already established superstars or as prodigious talents ready to become household names. Luis Suarez, despite his recent surge, does not yet occupy that same echelon. And it is precisely this "not yet" that fuels the debate. Could he rise to that level under the immense pressure of the Bernabeu? Or would his arrival be a gamble, a potential short-term success but an uncertain long-term investment? Financial considerations. Another critical factor is the financial aspect of any potential transfer. Sporting CP reportedly invested over €20 million to secure Suarez's services. Given his current form, it is highly unlikely that they would accept a lower fee, which immediately elevates the financial risk for any interested club. Furthermore, competing clubs in the English Premier League represent a formidable challenge. Clubs in England often possess nearly limitless financial resources and have historically been more willing to invest in physically imposing, high-intensity forwards like Suarez. For the Colombian striker, a move to England could align better with his playing style, given the Premier League's fast-paced, direct approach to attacking football. For Real Madrid, therefore, the question becomes one of strategic allocation. Is the potential upside worth the significant investment, both in terms of transfer fee and wages? Perspectives from fans and experts. The Madridista fanbase, known for its unwavering standards, has already begun to divide over the question. Some argue that signing Suarez would be a risky experiment in a position where errors can be costly. Real Madrid forwards must deliver immediately. There is little room for long adaptation periods or transitional phases. Others suggest that Suarez could serve as a complementary option, providing rotation, tactical flexibility, and competition for starting spots. Yet, this approach conflicts with the club's historical tendency to invest heavily only in players expected to occupy a leading role. The forward line is too strategically vital for anything less than a near-guaranteed impact. Historical context and comparison. To fully evaluate Suarez's potential fit, it is helpful to place him in a broader historical context. Real Madrid's successful forwards have typically combined technical skill, mental fortitude, and a proven track record of high-level performance. Players like Raúl, Ronaldo Nazario, Karim Benzema, and Cristiano Ronaldo did not merely show flashes of brilliance. They consistently delivered in critical matches, including Champions League finals and decisive league fixtures. Luis Suarez has yet to demonstrate this level of sustained excellence. While his international form is encouraging, and his recent exploits suggest he may be reaching a peak, the question remains whether this peak aligns with the consistently high standards of Real Madrid. Tactical considerations. From a tactical standpoint, Suarez's style presents both opportunities and challenges. His mobility and physicality could provide depth and unpredictability to Madrid's attacking schemes. He can operate in tight spaces, link play, and offer an alternative to the traditional target man or dynamic winger setup. However, integrating him into a squad with established stars may require careful rotation and strategic planning. Chemistry with midfield creators such as Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, or any emerging attacking talent would be crucial to ensure his talents are maximized without disrupting team balance. Conclusion. A careful calculation. In conclusion, the debate surrounding Luis Suarez is a clash between media-driven excitement and strategic caution. His recent performances ignite hope and enthusiasm, but there are legitimate concerns regarding consistency, adaptability, and the financial implications of a high-profile transfer. For Real Madrid, the decision must be guided by careful planning rather than impulsive reactions to short-term success. The Bernabeu environment is unforgiving, and forwards must deliver immediately. In this light, Luis Suarez may find a more natural home in the English Premier League, where his physicality, intensity, and style of play could flourish with fewer constraints. Ultimately, the Real Madrid board must weigh potential brilliance against strategic risk. Is Suarez a player who can become a Bernabeu legend, or is he a gamble whose peak may arrive too late for the club's current ambitions? Until more evidence emerges, the debate is likely to continue, with fans, journalists, and analysts each offering their own predictions, suspicions, and hopes. The bombshell of Upamecano, Real Madrid's defensive masterstroke. The third headline of the summer, or perhaps the most electrifying one so far, is centered on a name that has set football circles across Europe abuzz. Dayot Upamecano, the French central defender currently at Bayern Munich. Rumors from trusted sources in Germany and France suggest that the player has already communicated his intention not to renew his contract with the Bavarian Giants, and that he is highly intrigued by the prospect of joining Real Madrid, a club synonymous with ambition, history, and continental dominance. The potential move has sparked intense speculation, analyses, and, of course, excitement among Madridistas eager to see their defensive line rejuvenated. We are talking about a 25-year-old defender at the peak of his physical and tactical development. Upamecano is not only a commanding presence in the heart of defense, but also a player whose technical proficiency allows him to contribute significantly to build-up play. Over the past years, he has honed his skills in Bundesliga, faced elite opponents in the Champions League, and represented France at the international level, often against some of the most formidable forwards in world football. His profile is ideal for the modern game: explosive speed, immense physical strength, impeccable timing in tackles and interceptions, aerial dominance, and the ability to progress the ball cleanly from the back. These attributes make him precisely the type of defender Real Madrid needs to both fortify the present and secure the future of their defensive unit. The timing could not be better. Upamecano is in the final stretch of his Bayern contract, which means that acquiring him would likely be far less costly than signing a defender of his caliber in a standard transfer window. For a club like Real Madrid, which balances ambition with financial prudence, this is the perfect opportunity to execute a strategic coup. A calculated investment in a player of this quality could yield immense dividends on the pitch without undermining the club's long-term financial stability. In essence, it is the kind of transfer that is both shrewd and visionary, a hallmark of Real Madrid's approach in recent decades. Equally crucial to the potential signing is the endorsement of the new coach, Xabi Alonso. The Spanish manager, who has a deep understanding of Bundesliga football, has closely monitored Upamecano's development since his days at RB Leipzig. Alonso sees in him the perfect fit for his tactical blueprint, a defensive system that emphasizes solidity under pressure, quick transitions from defense to attack, and intelligent positioning. Under Alonso, Upamecano would not merely be another player filling a role. He would be a key pillar of a defense designed to dominate Europe. This endorsement signals that the move, if it happens, is not just an opportunistic signing, it is a coherent part of a long-term sporting strategy. Comparisons with other European giants underscore Madrid's advantageous position. Paris Saint-Germain could attempt to lure Upamecano with astronomical wages, yet they cannot match the historical prestige, the competitive intensity, and the global spotlight that comes with wearing the white shirt of the Bernabeu. Barcelona, meanwhile, is constrained by financial realities and is unlikely to compete at the same level. And Bayern Munich, despite being a continental powerhouse, faces the inevitable reality that a player determined to leave is difficult to retain. The combination of these factors positions Real Madrid as the prime destination for a transfer that could define the summer. Reactions across the media spectrum have been revealing. French outlets celebrate the possibility of one of their internationals stepping onto the grandest stage of club football, framing it as a natural progression for a player of Upamecano's caliber. German media, conversely, interpret his potential departure as a management failure by Bayern, a loss of a defender who could have been central to their next era of dominance. In Madrid, the prevailing sentiment is sheer optimism. Fans and pundits alike understand that bringing in Upamecano would not only bolster the squad for immediate challenges but would also send a clear message across Europe. Real Madrid remains the club where ambition, history, and top-tier talent converge. The footballing implications are staggering. Imagine Upamecano stepping onto the pitch at the Bernabeu, shutting down Europe's elite forwards, organizing the backline with authority, and emerging as a defensive leader in the years to come. His arrival would not only enhance defensive stability but also create competition and motivation among existing players, fostering a culture of excellence within the squad. Many experts are already framing this potential transfer as one that could mark an era, because Real Madrid does not sign players merely to fill gaps, they sign players to shape history. Beyond the tactical and sporting perspective, Upamecano's arrival would reverberate across the media and commercial landscape. From a marketing standpoint, it would dominate headlines, generate viral social media moments, and trigger endless analysis and debates across football platforms worldwide. Psychologically, it would reinforce the club's stature in the eyes of rivals, signaling that Real Madrid continues to attract top talent, maintaining the aura of invincibility and high expectations. Tactically, Upamecano brings a blend of qualities that few defenders in Europe currently offer. His ability to anticipate plays and intercept balls reduces the defensive line's exposure to counterattacks, while his skill in carrying the ball forward allows Madrid to transition quickly and efficiently from defense to offense. Paired with seasoned defenders and a goalkeeper adept at starting attacks from the back, he would provide both security and dynamism, a rare combination that could redefine Real Madrid's defensive philosophy in the post-Ramos era. Moreover, Upamecano's addition could have profound long-term benefits. At 25, he is entering the prime years of his career, offering both immediate impact and multi-year stability. Real Madrid, always aware of balancing youth and experience, would gain a defender capable of mentoring emerging talents while still performing at the highest level himself. His presence could also influence tactical flexibility, enabling Alphonso to deploy formations and strategies that were previously limited by personnel constraints. In conclusion, the potential signing of Dayot Upamecano is far more than just a transfer rumor. It represents a strategic masterstroke, a blend of tactical foresight, financial acumen, and sporting ambition. If the deal goes through, Real Madrid would not only reinforce its defense but also send a powerful signal to the footballing world. The club continues to attract elite talent, remains at the forefront of European football, and is committed to crafting a team capable of dominating for years to come. For Upamecano, it is an opportunity to cement his place among the world's top defenders. For Madrid, it is the chance to combine vision, precision, and ambition in a move that could shape the club's trajectory for an entire generation. The stage is set, the players are in motion, and football Europe holds its breath. Could this be the transfer that defines the summer, and perhaps the next era of Real Madrid's dominance? Only time will tell, but the excitement is already palpable.